So, I'm gonna start with this thing I texted you about yesterday, but I thought it was funny.
You just want to say hi to our audience? I don't even know why.
Who?
It was originally a staple that we would say something, and then it was a staple of me saying "don't say anything."
Yeah.
And now I think it's a staple for us to argue about whether or not it should be a thing to say. But
What do you want from me? Give me what I want. Anyway, so I was visiting our place of former employment yesterday, the Kingstown South Center pool, and the girl that works there now, she's kind of a higher up somehow, I guess. Whatever the fuck.
She'd love to say that about herself.
Yeah, truly the
she's a cut above the rest.
The proof of failing upwards.
Jesus Christ.
But so she's working there now, and I was talking to her, just catching up, and she was telling me like, oh yeah, I saw so and so, and I saw so and so, and I was like, that's cool, glad they're doing well. And then she was like, yeah, and then like, I've been dealing with Patrick all summer too.
What is it that you're welcome to share what the rumor they thought was?
I know, I'm getting to that. And then anyways, I was like, oh, what do you mean? She's like, well, there's a rumor going around. We all think, and I guess she meant like the staff, like all thought
all of the inbreds as a whole.
Yeah, she's like, we all think Patrick's like secretly a gay escort or something, and I just like laughed. I don't know. That was just like really funny.
Did the explanation go farther than that? I'm super curious.
Not even. I was just like, no, he just like does like model voice acting stuff. I don't know. Like he's not like sketchy or anything. Like I don't think you have to worry.
All right, you didn't have to lie to her.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you do, so I couldn't be like, yeah, he's like sucking dick at like 5-star restaurants or whatever.
It's such a, I don't know. That's a very, as soon as I got that message, I know I said, oh, it was just supposed to be an insult in the group chat, because I was like trying to say like, oh, it doesn't affect me at all, but you have no idea how fucking angry I was at like the idea that they're just, fuck those people.
What does that make you angry? Like,
I don't know. It's just because I know that that's something they're snickering about, and it's just like, why would that be, what?
Yeah.
Why is that, like, there was this kid that we worked with, at a rec center nearby that, also lifeguarding, and this is obviously not equivalent. This is I wasn't even there for this kind of bullying, so it's not exactly the same. But this kid was the most annoying human being on the planet in every way. He was just infuriating. He was terrible to work with, and all of the coworkers consistently chose to make fun of the hypothetical idea that he was gay rather than any other part of his personality, which was just vexing to me.
How do we nail down that this person is annoying? Oh yeah, just say he's gay.
Person ever. It was just, it's like exactly that, except this over here, because I'm such an annoying person. God, just make fun of anything else about me. Don't bring all of the gays into this.
But then she was like, yeah, and he also like never eats, and all he does is just like chug soda all day. And I'm just like, okay. That's weird. It's a weird thing to like keep track of. I mean, yeah, you do kind of like drink a lot of soda because you drag around like a 12-pack with you, which is like kind of funny. Like that's your like RPG like character's weapon is just like a 12-pack of soda or whatever. But
I definitely don't carry around a 12-pack of soda.
You literally, every time you come to my house, you bring a 12-pack of soda.
Yeah, I don't bring that to fucking work.
I
pack it into my backpack like a civilized person.
So when you open your bag, it's an open 12-pack of soda.
Your imagined idea of my life is just this fantasy land where I'm sucking dick for blow.
Is that not accurate?
I'm sniffing mac and cheese for sustenance and then just throwing it out. Drinking 35 Cokes every day.
I feel like it's not terribly far off the mark.
You're fucking stupid. Fuck all those people, those inbred dipshits.
Yeah, that was funny. And she was just telling me about how, she's technically interning for the pool company because she got all these offers to intern at places.
Oh yeah.
But she decided
McDonald's
to go.
Is hiring. They wanted a new manager.
she decided to go with this internship at the pool, and it's paying her $12,000 for the summer, which is really interesting. So
that's very interesting. We
yeah.
talked about how interesting that is.
That is quite interesting.
Very, very interesting. Anyway, let's move on.
But yeah, that was the fun I had at the pool yesterday. I also saw another kid I like grew up with. I was like on CYO basketball with him or whatever. Do you know? I don't really care about saying his name. Do you mind if I say his name?
Go for it.
Do you know Anthony Walton?
No.
It's kind of like this like tall, pretty like muscular dude, I guess, but like kind of lean.
Nope.
Okay. Thought you would know him, but never mind.
Not wrong. You said basketball, and I immediately lost all memory of my life.
Who am I? How did I get here?
Who am I?
You wanted to bring up the some Mortal Kombat poor voice acting that you were taking issue with.
It was so fucking funny. Well, that's not. Don't make it sound like because you're an expert in voice acting. It's stupid
Patrick
and
Charlton,
bad.
resident voice acting expert.
Everyone knows it's bad.
It's pretty rough.
I don't know. It was like some music or a DJ or something that they worked with to make one of the Mortal Kombat theme remixes. Am I getting this completely wrong?
Oh, Skrillex.
No.
Is the reptile Skrillex?
He was like
remix?
Swedish.
Oh, never mind.
What are you talking about? Did you watch these clips?
I watched the clips, but there's another song that I listened to when I was a fucking dweeb who liked dubstep. When the what's the other Mortal Kombat game, like Mortal Kombat X or one of the other ones came out, they got Skrillex to do a remix of like some reptile theme song or whatever, and I thought it was a bop, but I don't know what you're talking about. That's a whole different thing.
Well, somebody came in as a guest to voice Sub-Zero, and maybe it's not just his accent, but it just like it doesn't sound normal. I think he's Swedish, or like from one of the Poles or something.
They're all kind of, yeah.
Sub-Zero's line is like I will destroy you or something like that, and he's just like, I will destroy you. I'll freeze you into the ground.
Oh God.
And I just made it French, but
yeah, I don't know why you did that. But then if you really want to find the epitome of great voice acting, look up that clip, and then also look up Ronda Rousey's performance as what's her name? Claire something.
Claire.
Who's Ronda Rousey in Mortal Kombat 11? Because
you said Claire, you've completely removed the right answer from my head.
Fuck.
Oh my God.
She plays.
God damn it.
Sonya Blade.
Fuck. Sonya Blade. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there we go. Interesting career turn for her. But do you think?
No, it's not, actually.
Do you think
she was in WWE before this.
Do you think she did the mocap for this game and she put on like the little suit with like a million tiny balls on it, and they just had her like beat the shit out of like some intern who was also wearing a mocap suit?
Maybe.
That's funnier in my head. Actually, that's just funny to begin with.
I like Johnny Cage in this game a lot.
Have you
I like Johnny Cage in every game, but
have you even played this game, or you just like watch it online?
I watched the whole thing.
That is like, for a fighting game especially, that's like defeats
really
the entire purpose. Is there a story to Mortal Kombat that like matters?
It's not a good one, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, it's kind of like when I watched the whole campaign to Battlefront 2. And
you read the Wikipedia articles for like $4 shitty like Redbox movies that you don't feel like seeing entirely.
That's true. I guess we each have our own. Well, the thing is, like, video games are kind of things you play through. You know, the fun comes from like playing them. You know, like most of the time, I'm not in it for the story. I'm in it for the experience or whatever good stuff is happening. You know, like it'd be a shame if I watched Titanfall 2 be played instead of actually playing Titanfall 2. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Because like that level where you're bouncing back and forth between like time dimensions or whatever wouldn't be the same.
Probably my least favorite level, but okay.
Really?
Yep.
How's that your least favorite? That's like everyone's fucking favorite.
I don't know. I wanted that game to be about something else. I wanted it to just be about like some other crisis, and it was about time travel, and I didn't like that.
I think it was time travel only for like that one part.
Not the end fight, man. You have to take out the giant core.
There's a lot of core pulling in that game. I don't even remember who the main villain was, but I just
BT
remember that
chucks you, remember?
I know he like throws you, and he's like,
Trust
Protocol
me.
1, protect the pilot. And I was like, wow,
Puts
I
his
love you.
wiener in you.
I want you to caress me and hold me while I sleep.
BT!
The characters in that game are strong. Although your main guy was like a typical
Jack
faceless, yeah,
Rifleman.
exciting name, very exciting stuff.
Troy
God.
Baker, I think, voiced him. He had all the generic pieces in bits.
Why even get Troy Baker to voice him if you're gonna name him Jack Cooper, barely give him any lines, and then all of his lines are very
He has
generic?
a ton of lines in that game. What are you talking about?
The main character?
The most of the entire game is filled with conversations between BT and Jack.
Oh, I really don't remember.
You're stupid.
I just remember BT
How
talking to you.
dare you? And why are you saying that like Troy Baker's like an auteur?
Troy Baker's a really good actor.
He's great, but like he's Troy Baker. He can do anything.
I mean, he can do anything, and he's expensive, I assume now, because he's kind of like more
Maybe.
well known. So I assume, why get Troy Baker when you can like fucking.
Can you afford to be expensive as a voice actor, though?
Oh, I'm sure, absolutely.
I feel like that would.
I'm sure people like Matthew Mercer and Troy Baker and Nolan North are more expensive than some of the other people.
No, more expensive, yes, but expensive. Period. Like,
I assume
like
they make a pretty decent living.
no, I know, but like, I don't know. If you say, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this," MOBA game because I don't want to, and then they're like, "All right, fine," and then you try to go for like one of those like David Cage games where it's like a movie, and then I don't know.
I know what you
I
mean.
feel like if you have too high standards, then you're not going to have enough paychecks because there's only so many David Cage games.
Well, that's fair, but I mean, I'm sure you can get to a certain point of success where the projects that you do are kind of holding you over. Like when Kevin Conroy voices Batman, I assume
he's going to
like,
be on the. Sorry, go ahead.
I assume DC is giving him like $5 million check every time he like does hit, and then he just like lives off of it for the next like 5 years until they eventually remake like, I don't know, another like Batman comic story. They're making the Dark Knight Returns 2 again. So yeah,
I'll watch it. I don't care.
Watch it. I love him. And then throw Mark Hamill in the mix, and that's another like $5 million or something. It's probably on the low end, honestly. I don't know what voice actors really get paid, but for example, the people on Critical Role, I assume Matthew Mercer is probably one of the higher earners at that table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. Let me think. There's Sam Riegel. There's Liam Cunningham.
I think that's a dude from Game of Thrones. He plays Davos. I think you're mixing him up.
No, there's a guy at the table named Liam, and then there's another guy whose last name is Cunningham. Okay, so fuck.
Are you thinking about the one that is playing the Goblin?
I'm not that far into I'm not at campaign 2.
Oh yeah, I skipped campaign 2.
Sam Riegel plays Scanlan, and then I assume when campaign 2 comes around, he plays Not. I think.
Yeah, not the Goblin, not the Brave.
And then 2 of the people at the table play characters in the Avengers game that's coming out.
Oh really?
Yeah, one of them plays Thor, the other plays Black Widow, and they're married.
Oh yeah. And I know well, Ashley Johnson's in campaign 2, and she plays Ellie in The Last of Us, but she was also in the first Avengers. Yeah, she was also in the first Avengers movie. Yeah, she was like that waitress from that deleted scene
about being Captain America being cool.
Yeah, exactly. She was in a deleted scene where she like interacts with Captain America more, which makes more sense to why the camera keeps focusing on her, because otherwise it was like, is this waitress gonna like do anything? But like, yeah, no, she's cool too. I think she's probably more well known. What does your resume even look like as a voice actor? Like, how do you sell yourself?
Should ask
like,
show.
I assume you have like a reel or something. You're gonna be like, this is what I can do.
I had a demo reel for a while, but I fucking deleted it because it was like 3 years old, and I looked back and it was really cringy.
Well, maybe like they have agents or something that do that for them.
It's better when you just include pieces of work that you've done rather than just stuff you've done improvised, but not everybody has that privilege, so it's tough.
Were your vines in your old demo reel?
No, but I've sent those link to those compilations as part of applications to certain jobs.
Oh, that's fair. I feel like that's reasonable. Honestly, that's like
auditions.
Work goes into that kind of thing.
Hey,
you should be able
here's
to
some examples of the different stupid things that I've done in my life. If that bothers you for some reason, you probably don't want to hire me.
Has anyone ever like responded poorly to you sending them like vines or some other shit? Just being like, "This is bad," or like, "This is fucking stupid.
No.
Why would you send this to me?"
No one's ever responded poorly.
That's
So Kevin Conroy is going to play on the CW's garbage terrible thing. He's going to play an aged Bruce Wayne on a sort of Crisis on Infinite Earths multi-dimensional thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're doing that like big crossover events that 5 people care about.
I mean, I don't give a shit, but Kevin Conroy is involved, so I kind of have to watch it at some point.
I will like look up the summary because I haven't watched any of Supergirl. I haven't watched any of The Flash. I haven't watched any of Arrow.
It's all really bad, so don't.
Yeah.
The Flash has some good pieces, not enough to make it worth watching.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of Batgirl, which is the new thing. That
with Ruby Rose?
Yeah, Ruby Rose. Which, you know.
She was in the Meg. There's a bloody shark, mate.
She was also in John Wick. The second one.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
What were you
Be
doing?
seeing you, John.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just made up a bunch of sign language.
There you go.
Trying to mimic it.
The only thing... Okay, this is my question about all these CW shows.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they keep making shows out of random characters instead of, like, some, like, bigger names? For example, the first show they did was Arrow, which, like, why start with Green Arrow? And then they did The Flash, which, like, okay, getting better. That's, like, an obvious, you know, DC character. And then they did Legends of Tomorrow, which I don't even know what that is. And then they did Supergirl, which, like, okay, that's okay, I guess. And then Batgirl, which, okay, that's cool. I guess they feel the need to spin off, like, lesser-known characters into the TV shows because then they're cheaper to make. Like, maybe people wouldn't watch, like, a Batman show that doesn't star whoever's Batman or a Superman show that doesn't star whoever's Superman.
I don't know how the Hollywood machine works at all, so I'm going to butcher this, but I assume they got Arrow because they wanted to make a show, and they were like, all right, you can have this one. It's just like, fucking Green Arrow? What? Exactly. I guess, whatever, we'll make it work. So they made it Arrow, and that was actually moderately okay and pretty successful because it was like the only superhero show on television at the time. And then they were like, they came back and they were like, can we have anybody else? And they're like, okay, you did a little bit better. We're going to give you the Flash. And they're like, yeah! It's like, but you can't make him cool or interesting or fun. It's like, oh, man. And then they did that.
So, actually, they did put Superman in an episode of Supergirl. They, like, cast another dude.
He's a permanent character now.
That's so strange. And then those things don't cross over with any of the DC movies, which is a little confusing. Even some of the upcoming DC movies don't cross over with the DC movies.
There's a fucking part in Supergirl. I don't know why it made me laugh so hard when I first saw it, but Supergirl meets Jimmy Olsen. Because, I guess she works both for a fashion blog or something and the Daily Planet in some capacity. I don't know. She meets Jimmy Olsen, and Jimmy Olsen shows her his Pulitzer Prize winning photograph that he took of Superman, and it's just a smear. And it's like, yeah, I was the first one to actually nab a picture of him because he's so fast. And she was like, wow. And then he's just like, you know, the secret is, I think he let me take it. And I'm just like, this is so stupid.
What the fuck?
It's such a shitty picture. If he was letting you take it, why not just slow down a little bit? You can barely say that that's Superman. I could go into, like, Sony Vegas and just, like, smear on a fucking screen. call it fucking Sony Vegas said that I could take it. That's what makes it special.
I'm trying to find this picture on Google Images, but I can't. Wow, the guy who got to play Superman is actually pretty good looking Superman.
He's great.
Honestly.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
He looks I don't even know his name, but I don't know, look up what other stuff he's done.
He's like ridiculously handsome.
They should just I know Ben Affleck isn't Superman or doesn't want to, or no, Henry Cavill doesn't want to be Superman anymore or something. They should just get this guy and just pretend nothing ever happened. Honestly. What's his name? Let's see.
What are you doing?
I'm looking up, dude. Melissa Benoist, the girl who plays Supergirl.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the guy who plays Superman in this show.
Then you've already seen him.
John.
Is this stuff they can't see, idiot?
Whatever. I always want to be looking up shit.
Your dad's yelling.
I know. Him and my mom are fighting. I'm totally
fun.
Totally joking. They're just doing chores.
Well, okay.
Yeah, don't worry. I would have cut it if they were actually fighting. It's good.
There's a piece of sticker on the back of my phone that says "for rectal use only."
Yeah. So, anyways,
I found a bunch of enemas in the first aid box, and I took one of the stickers off of it and put it on my phone.
I love that. Anywho, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was watching this YouTube video that was explaining how this CW Crisis on Infinite Earths event could maybe potentially be used to bring in the DC movie universe and or maybe retcon some of that stuff. And I'm just like, that's a little ambitious.
Not gonna.
I don't think the CW does not have the authority to prevent Batman versus Superman from ever happening.
Nerf gun props and their fucking what's it called? Captain Cold with his giant ridiculous hoodie
Captain
with the
Cold.
fur piece on the front. No.
And then there's Black Lightning, which is not even going to be in this event, but is still.
Is that
part
the
of
one that was more topical, talking about police brutality and stuff?
Yeah, apparently it's good. I really don't know.
Do they cover that kind of stuff in Supergirl? That'd be interesting.
I don't think Supergirl is in any position to handle police brutality against
What if
black
they did
people.
though? What if they really really badly did that?
she flies down to a cop who's pulled over.
This is bias against Kryptonians.
Oh god, that'd be really funny. I'd like to see them try.
They would though. Hilarious. They would try.
Kryptonian lives matter.
That weird thing that made me kind of think it was sort of pseudo trying to in Young Justice. Beast Boy has his show. I think we talked about.
Oh yeah.
He talks about being meta and proud.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with my meta-ality or something it was very on the nose, and I was just
it was a metaphor for being gay or whatever.
Comfortable with that.
And I was like, huh.
Are those equivalent? Are those really equivalent? Someone having superpowers compared to someone being beaten up because they're gay? What are you talking about? I could turn into a giraffe, so everyone bullies me. Meanwhile, people in real life are getting the shit kicked out of them. What are you talking about, Young Justice? God, that season was stupid.
Can I imagine there just being a mob that's gonna start beating up Beast Boy? He's like, just to be clear, Beast Boy, we're beating you up because you're gay, not because you're meta. And he's like, oh, okay, please proceed.
Oh, then that's okay.
Fair, completely fair game. Thank you.
Why do people who write TV? Why are people who write TV bad at writing TV? Alex,
I know, right? Why does that happen so often?
How does it happen?
There's got you could have just run it by one person, and they could have told you, no, not a good idea. Just run it by any sane human being. God.
To be fair, they never go 100% of the way there, and by that I mean, they'll say all this stuff about metas, and you will be able, you can draw all these comparisons to identifying a certain way or having a certain sexuality in real life, and that being having prejudice against it. But only goes that far, so that you never really get to nail them against the wall with like, that's fucking weird. Why would you do that? Which is just they squeak by just enough.
It's not as bad as when. Did you ever see Bright? That stupid movie on Netflix.
Bright.
Yeah, with Will Smith.
When the orcs are black people.
Yeah. And
fuck that.
Will Smith was shouted something like, "Huh? So I guess fairy lives don't matter today." And like, there was like spray paint of like orc lives matter and like all this other shit, and I'm just like, this is the most heavy-handed metaphor for racism I've ever seen in my life. Like,
is that whole movie really bad? I haven't seen it.
It was really bad. I haven't seen it. I watched a really good like takedown video of it that was like an hour long, so I feel like I've seen it.
The guy who plays the orc sidekick,
Joel Edgerton.
I like him.
He's in What Comes at Night. It
that
Comes at Night.
Shitty movie that's terrible. That movie builds so much tension, and then there's a bunch of weird stuff like the kid dreaming about fucking the mom or whatever. But
yeah, which is like, weird. It goes nowhere.
He dreams about fucking everybody, and then there's that old man who shows up and he's like, Jesus Christ, how far
it's
does
his grandpa, and he's like, stop dreaming about fucking the woman.
That's exactly what he says. Yeah. He's covered in a bunch of dirt and like black ooze, and he's like, you shouldn't dream about that. It's stupid.
Keep your willy in your pants, son.
You better not have a superpower, or they'll prejudice you against you.
Joel Edgerton is good. We're picking bad movies that he's been in, but he was in
And in general, I think he's hilarious.
Is he a funny actor?
I love Australians for some reason.
He's Australian?
I don't know why.
I didn't even know.
Yes. And unless I'm thinking about somebody else. And he did a Wired autocomplete interview. Or maybe he didn't. But, what's her name? She plays, Mystique.
Oh. Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, they were in Red Sparrow together, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were doing like Australian slang and like Louisville slang or whatever, like Southern and Southern American and Australian, and he's just like, "Look at me, I'm Australian," and I love that. I don't know why. It's endearing.
What's an actor or actress that you were surprised to find out was like British or Australian? Like you just had no idea until you heard them speak.
Millie Bobby Brown is very American.
True. Yeah, she looks very American.
She also speaks very American.
Yeah. Also, her like famous role is playing like a Middle America child. So
and a mute for most of the part. So.
Well, no, she starts talking later.
Yeah, but she doesn't have to be able to be good at accents because she just doesn't speak.
And then I was actually shocked to find out that Christian Bale is British.
Yeah, he's kind of a chameleon.
I mean, like, American Psycho, Batman, feels pretty quintessentially American.
It's got American right there in the title. He lied to us.
And then American you see him in interviews, and he's like, yeah, when I was training for the role of Batman, I, like, ate 10 pounds of steak a day. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
I had to blend chicken breast and then swallow it.
Really cool. Same with Cillian Murphy, who was in Batman Begins. He is British and he's great, but he does a really like normal American accent that you wouldn't suspect. And
the
then
guy
you
who plays
watch him,
Scarecrow?
Yeah.
God, he's so fucking pretty.
He's so good. And then like you watch him in interviews or in Peaky Blinders actually, where he like can be British and he's just got the most like cockneyed like accent ever. He's like, "Oh, blind it, got eggs for dinner." Not like that. A little more classy.
You were in Britain for a while, and you couldn't come up with a better example of a British delicacy.
No, yeah. I was really...
Eggs for dinner? Oh!
I'm not a voice actor, Patrick. It's not in my blood.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Touche.
Gotcha there. But he's talented, but I didn't know he was British, which is cool. It's like when you find out someone's like British or Australian, they like bump up a few points on like the coolness scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I find is that any British or Australian person or anybody with an interesting accent who comes to... Actually, that's not true. Most people with an interesting accent who come to the United States, people are racist towards them. But...
Really? Well, unless you come from...
thinking of like...
Unless they come from like a white country.
You know, the countries that racists prefer. But,
yeah.
You know, people immediately think they're endearing. And that is interesting. Like, why? They're just meat sacks.
I mean... You could kind of boil that down to like everything to they're just meat sacks. We are meat sacks ourselves and develop weird preferences that make no sense. Like, why do meat sacks like to eat other meat sacks? You know what I mean? It's weird.
Are you talking about what?
Cannibalism, Patrick.
I almost threw up just then.
One of these days.
I've been eating Girl Scout cookies, and I almost coughed up all of my Girl Scout cookies.
I can imagine you buying cookies from a Girl Scout, and it's like the funniest interaction I can think of in my head.
Go ahead and highlight that. I'm not making it
so
weird.
You're going to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You see this little table outside of Girl Scouts and their like parents or whatever, and you're like, "Huh, I want some Girl Scout cookies," but I don't really care about making them feel good or anything, or like being nice to them because I just want the cookies. So you just throw like a $20 bill on the table and like grab like 6 boxes, and they're like, "Hang on, that's not enough money." But then you just like run away like a fucking
6
little, like,
boxes
demon back to your
what?
car.
How much is Girl Scout cookies? It's like $1.65 a box, I thought.
Really? Okay.
There's no way that
you throw down a
$20
single
will get you
dollar
6.
bill and you run away with like 20 boxes.
First of all, if
little
any
girls
of them
cry.
gave me sass, I'd choke slam them off Hell in a Cell right into that table.
They get a badge for that, so it's okay.
What is the John Cena move that he does? The disrespect or something like that?
It's like he doesn't he like do a flip in midair or something?
He puts on a second pair of jorts and then he comes down
Yeah.
to a flying knee.
I don't fucking know what his move is. I remember looking it up before. I don't remember. What's your favorite wrestling move?
Bone Saw from Spider-Man.
This is the fucking reaction pics you sent. You're like,
I love him so much. In my headcanon, he's gay.
I would buy it. You're going nowhere.
And then Spider-Man's all weirdly like, I mean, it's the 2000s, so it makes sense. But he's a homophobic.
Yeah.
He's just like, that's a nice suit. Did your husband make it for you? And he's just like, maybe. Fuck off.
Like, I don't know what I think about this. He is in like a regular like wrestling ring, which means like it's fake fighting. So why did Spider-Man feel the need
Get
to
the
go?
shit kicked out of him.
Yeah,
Or
this
no,
guy
the
who's just like
reverse.
the guy just kicked the shit out of this guy who's just like an actor when there was like no actual danger like posed to him, I guess.
I like the part in that movie when Bone Saw McGraw is about Spider-Man's been trapped in the Hell in the Cell or Steel Cage match, or a stupid name. Yeah, like Ed Hardy is in the sideways, but Bone Saw McGraw is like, he's like, "You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes," and then he goes like this. He takes his hands and he goes like jazz hands. He's like, nah.
Like, wow, this wrestling guy is a real threat. I better beat the shit out of him.
He's just like the Randy Savage equivalent.
Yeah. Then Spider-Man gets on his fucking high horse and lets the bookie like get robbed, and he's like, "I don't care." And then the bookie ends up being the guy that kills Uncle Ben. So you get your comeuppance for beating up Randy Savage. Your fucking uncle dies.
What if that character like turned out to be like really eloquent and like followed him to get his own paycheck from that bookie, and was just like Spider-Man, you got to think about the consequences of your different actions, because if you let this criminal go into the streets, who knows what havoc he could wrought on the city streets of New York. And then Spider-Man's just like, no, I never thought about it like that. Thank you, Randy Savage. It's like, my name's Bone Saw McGraw, but everybody calls me Randy, so it's okay, Spider-Man. And then they hug.
I want him to be the little like spirit guide for Spider-Man's whole heroic journey.
When he thinks of like in classic comics, he thinks of his uncle saying, with great power comes great responsibility. But then another time comes where he's like trying to stop a train, and he's like, oh god, and he's like, what would Bone Saw McGraw do? And then he just thinks of like a bubble where he first met him, where it says, like, I got you for 3 minutes. And so he turns around, is like pressing his face up against the train. He's like, you're going nowhere. And then he pulls really hard. That would have been a much better movie.
God damn. Oh my god.
Can you imagine Spider-Man sounding like that?
He taps into the power of Bone Saw
Oh,
McGraw.
yeah! Taps into the power of the Spider-Verse, a.k.a. the Bone Saw verse.
Spider-Man into the Bone
There was
Saw
a bunch
verse.
of people in that movie in the stands who had like cardboard saws, like hand saws, and they were just doing this on their arms because it was like the promotion of his material.
You don't want to be the real guy in that audience who brought a real fucking bone saw and cuts his arm
Everybody
off.
else was doing it. I don't know why mine just cut my arm off.
And then he looks at like he picks up his hand and he puts it back on the stump and he goes, "You're going nowhere."
Okay, that's enough.
We have a new catchphrase for this podcast. This is the "You're going nowhere" cast.
I think that's our title for this week.
You're going nowhere.
Oh shit. Speaking of, not speaking of, it doesn't matter. What was the lunch table anime characters that we were looking at?
Oh, well, we'll try to make this completely non-visual, so we'll do this all descriptively. But there is a meme that's being sent around where it's just like 6 or 7 cafeteria tables in a cafeteria, and all of them are filled with different characters from all sorts of media and stuff. And this one happens to be a lot of anime characters. Looks like a lot of shonen anime. But we were discussing in a different group chat like where we would most be seated or which ones would be terrible to sit at. I talked a lot more than Benya did.
Yeah.
Because I just genuinely get angry at the idea of sitting at some of these tables. But at number 1 we have Jiraiya, Master Roshi, and Mineta from My Hero Academia, and Roshi's from Dragon Ball Z, and Jiraiya's from Naruto, and all of them are perverted creeps, so fuck all those people at that table.
Yep.
Number 2, that's Uraraka, and I don't know anybody else at that table, so I assume based on Uraraka, I assume they're all just bubbly, happy people.
Yeah, not bad.
That's a
Pretty solid
definite
table.
possibility.
Yeah.
Number 3, you got what's his fucking name? Icy Hot. You got Genos from One Punch Man.
That's who he is.
Roronoa Zoro. Roronoa Zoro. Fuck. I don't even know how to. I'm not even trying again. From One Piece, and then you got fucking what's her name from Kill la Kill.
Oh, that's who that is.
I think
I'm like
she's
writing
got a
this down.
scissor, half a scissor, and I watched the whole thing. I don't remember what it's called.
Then
That one might be a fucking silent reading table, to be honest.
yeah, it's like the silent like brooding table.
Everyone comes over here to brood.
Number 4 is red-haired.
Kirishima.
Red-haired kid who turns hard or whatever.
Kirishima from My Hero Academia. So he's just like this little like. I assume he's like a fucking. If he was at Edison, my high school, he would just be like power cleaning like 300 pounds, like just happy all the time. And then you got Oolong. Oolong is the trickster guy from One Piece. So this is I don't know why he's there. I mean, to be fair, I've only recently started watching One Piece, and I'm like a season into it. But does he become like a positive guy? I know he's in general down to his core positive, but Kirishima's pretty front-facingly positive. So it doesn't.
This is like the dorky and positive table.
The sidekick table, I guess.
Kind of, yeah, like a sidekick table.
I don't know. It's a solid choice because Kirishima's there and Kirishima's very positive. But then you got number 5. Fuck that table.
Number 5 is like the annoying main character table. You got Naruto,
Deku,
and then 2 other people I don't recognize.
The blonde one that's not Naruto is one of the 7 deadly sins from
that Netflix one?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the
I don't know if people watch that.
The number 1 guy sin. I don't fucking know, but he's annoying. Yeah. And then number 6 is you get the shadow guy from Naruto.
6 is the super smart, but a little
awkward.
A little smart, awkward, serious table. You got the shadow jutsu guy from Naruto. You got the girl who can spawn anything from her body from My Hero Academia.
got Armin from Attack on Titan. I don't know why he's there. He seems like a wee kid to me.
So that's kind of like that's kind of close to the brooding table, but a little. It's not all brood all the time. It's like they're like too cool for school kids. More like I feel like they can have a good time.
If that's true that it makes sense that they're close to table 3 because they feel like sort of same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And then
whoever that fucking other silver-haired kid is, I don't know
who that is. Who is number 7? This animal.
I don't know. He's a little mouseman. All the pictures I've
like
seen of him are just him quietly enjoying tea, so I feel like he'd be fun to sit next to.
That's cute.
But I wonder if he's by himself because he killed everybody at the table.
Maybe. It's very threatening.
He looks like one of the he's like a spy versus spy from Mad TV.
A little bit, yeah.
Number 8 is just the evil table.
It's like, you got Orochimaru, and then Naruto. I don't know who else, anyone else is at the table.
Orochimaru's an evil snake man from Naruto who, like, does weird fuck shit.
Yeah, he likes to lick Sasuke. It's his favorite activity. Number 9 is the anti-hero sad boys. You got Vegeta, Sasuke, and fucking explode face from My Hero. Yeah, Bakugo, who's always mad for no reason. That would be one of the worst tables to sit at because it would be like Vegeta and Bakugo yelling at each other, and then Sasuke just like being like a quiet asshole, and he's like, "The reason is simple."
I did it on a whim. I sat at this table on a whim. There was
more.
like he eats most of Bakugo's food, while he's not looking, and then Bakugo's like, "You ate all my food, but you didn't eat the mashed potatoes. What's wrong with you?" So I was like, "I spared them on a whim."
Nothing more.
And then you got number 10, who's a big winner, which is
disheveled
Professor
cynical,
Aizawa from My Hero. You got fucking
Kakashi Sensei from Naruto.
And Leon, I think his name is. He's a bowl cut, serious guy who's like super good at cutting people in half from Attack on Titan. Yeah,
that's a good table. So I would think 2.
Me and Bone Saw is sitting at number 7.
I hope so. 10, the professors. That's a good table. 6, the smart but like not too sad table is a good one. 4 is a solid table. The kind of like happy dopey sidekick table. That's solid.
I feel like there are a bunch of kids who would like send each other memes and stuff.
For sure. Ooh, that's the table you want to be in, honestly.
I guess. Kind of.
Wait, who's behind the lunch counter? I didn't notice.
You got I think he's a kid from Black Clover. I'm not sure, but he's a cook. He's a chef. Yeah. And then you got
whatever the fuck that animal is.
Oh, what is his fucking name? Oh, god damn it! This makes perfect sense that I would forget it.
It's like an orange.
He's from Dragon Ball Z. He dies all the time.
Oh, Krillin.
Nope.
No. Oh, it is from.
He's got Wolfang Fist. You remember that?
Wolfang Fist.
Oh,
you fucking said it in the group.
Yamcha.
Chat. Oh, Yamcha.
Yamcha is dead on the ground from when he got killed by the Cybermen, and they just put him in the background.
What the fuck?
But yeah, that's interesting.
I forgot what Yamcha.
Yamcha is just
Yamcha is just another Goku Gohan looking motherfucker.
He's got a bunch of scars.
Good for him. He's just dead in the back there. That's funny. I honestly never watched a lot of DBZ, so I'm not super well versed in these. But yeah, feel free to tweet at the show. Send us an email what table you would want to sit at.
Again, number 1 is perverts. Number 2 is cheerful, happy people. Number 3 is brooding, angry, but in general helpful, like anti-heroes. I guess. And number 4 is like Hiroshima, if you know who that is. He's like a positive sidekick. Number 5 is annoying, loud protagonist. Number 6 is brooding, angry people.
Brooding, angry people.
Number 7 is a mouse. Number 8 is evil. Number 9 is evil. I'm gonna call Sasuke evil and Vegeta and Bakugo evil.
I'm gonna make this real easy. I'm gonna go into the Prude's Twitter. I'm gonna fucking retweet it, and it's gonna be right there. How about that? There we go. That's good.
Number 10 is the only winner.
I love these. We should make more of these, but like, what other categories could you make these for?
You can make it for fucking anything. Would I make these for? I don't know. Probably like characters from Power Rangers. The different teams from Power Rangers.
No, the different generations of Power Rangers.
No, they would probably be like all the different colored Power Rangers at different. Well, that almost seems like segregation. I'm definitely sitting with the Black Rangers.
The Black Rangers?
Mm-hmm.
Do the Rangers have different powers based on their colors that is like consistent?
You get a
across
different sword,
generations?
and sometimes you get a different weapon. And the White Ranger, for some reason, which is really creepy, or silver or green, if they have the shoulder pads, they're usually stronger than everybody else.
Interesting. Wait, who's always the leader of the Rangers? It's like the Red Ranger, right?
For a while, it was the guy who played the White Ranger, carried on to the next series, who was in Dino Blaze, whatever. And he got stuck in his armor at one point. I remember that was an episode.
Yeah.
And now he's an MMA fighter.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting career turn. I remember, yeah, the White Ranger was always like really special for some reason. They had like the special armor or whatever the fuck. Whatever in universe lore reasons they had.
There's comics though.
Is there a Power Ranger subreddit? Like, is there a community that's just like really into this, like more than I realized?
I bet it's called Morphin Time.
It's probably not going to be just r/Power Rangers, but we'll give it a shot. Looks like it is. It's just people posting fucking their collection of Zordons and
Zordons?
mechas. Zordons are it's
called
robot,
Zords,
right?
You fucking idiot.
Whatever. Yeah,
Dude, if you go to
Megazord.
that and you sort by top posts this week, you'll get the coolest cosplay I've ever seen of the White Ranger. Anyway.
I love that shit. Let me see. Fan creation. Wow, this is really good, actually.
That's pretty rad.
Damn.
You were me like, this is fucking stupid. Actually, hang on.
Genuinely pretty impressed.
Dude, Power Rangers so cool. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Or continue talking about this,
Dino
but not
Thunder
visually.
a lot. That's
They
cool.
had the fucking, when they did the movie, and they were like, Billy was like, we can fight Ivan Ooze out into space, and everybody's just like, oh, how are we gonna do it? And they're on their last legs, and it looks like it's curtains for everybody. And then Billy's like, we'll send him into Orion's comet or whatever. Did I argue with this already? I feel like I argued with this about what it's called.
Maybe.
It's Billy's Comet is what I'm going to call it because I don't remember the actual name of it. But he's
there
like,
you go.
Throw him into the comet.
And then he punches him, and then he goes flying into a giant comet and explodes.
This is the
really
quality
funny.
entertainment that Power Rangers provides.
And then there's the part in the movie when all the kids are working together in a dumb way, where all the kids got their parents oozed by Ivan Ooze, and they got their minds taken over, and the parents are about to fucking murk all the kids. And then
I love that term, murk.
the
Murk.
little like Terminator 2 like scrappy like bandana kid, he's up on like the fire hose and he sprays all the parents and it gets all the ooze off, and then they hug the kids.
What is it with like old kids show and like kid shows and like slime and like ooze and weird shit like that?
Nickelodeon's Gak. The aggro crag.
The whole fucking the Teen Choice Awards was like celebrities getting slimed and stuff. You remember that? If I was a celebrity, I would never go to the Kids Choice Awards or whatever, because like I was like, this is fucking stupid. I don't want to get slimed for like a weird award show.
It also seems sort of weird to do it like a kids show.
Or is slime like a kink? Is that a thing?
Probably is. What if there was a celebrity who was just like, oh no, don't do it, and then he like holds his mouth open?
Oh no!
What if Dwayne Johnson and his giant form, like he was accepting his little Nickelodeon blimp, and he was just like, "Thank you," and then they pull the lever, and the slime starts opening up, and he just opens his mouth, and all of it goes in his mouth. It's like Kirby or like King Dedede.
Yeah. You want to talk about Hong Kong, Mulan, and the actress getting canceled?
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, there's some protests going on in Hong Kong right now because mainland China is exerting more influence over Hong Kong. And Hong Kong sort of has some independence right now. And so the citizens of Hong Kong are protesting to fucking save their lives and save their potential future. And so they've been obviously conflicting with the police a bit. And there's been general chaos for the past few weeks, honestly. This has been going on for a while. And then Mulan actress Liu Yifei made some tweets or comments in support of the Chinese police, the Hong Kong police, I believe, and the mainland Chinese forces, whatever. Some real Blue Lives Matter shit, but for China, which is weird placing our cultural thing on theirs, but that's basically the best way to explain it. And so that was weird, and a lot of people got mad, and they were like, don't go watch the new Mulan movie because this girl is an authoritarian Chinese Communist Party shill.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, true, that sounds about right. It's not cool to,
Do that.
spread this propaganda that the Hong Kong protesters are terrorists. That's some bullshit. But then I saw some other people raise the point that she kind of has to say this, or else
her dad is some sort of public figure in China or something like that.
Oh, is that true?
I believe so.
Because the issue I came across or heard was just that because she is such a prominent figure, prominent actress, they have to be in support of mainland China's the government's views. Otherwise, they would face severe repercussions.
Jesus.
And you don't want to deal with that, obviously. So, I mean, there's no evidence, I think, to support that. The logic is there, but we don't know for sure how she even feels at all. So it's a tough spot for sure. If she truly believes that, then that's shitty. She sucks, and I kind of feel bad about watching the movie now because I was kind of excited for it at the first. But now, if she's actually a shitty person, it's gonna be kind of awkward, especially because this movie is all about independence and fighting for what's right and all that. And if isn't that what Mulan is genuinely about? That, yeah.
I thought it was just repressing invaders. It's fighting for saving a country very flatly, not independence.
Well, fighting for freedom, right?
Yeah, they're fighting barbarians. They're not,
And so she is basically, in real life, taking the opposite. Well, not really.
She's fighting for China in the movie too.
Yeah. Maybe from her point of view, she must think that the Hong Kong protesters are the barbarians if we're taking metaphors and context from the film itself. I don't know. But yeah, she said I support the Hong Kong police. Yada yada. What a shame for Hong Kong. So yeah, I don't know what your takeaway from this is though. Does it affect how you feel about the movie? Are you gonna go see it or whatever?
I wasn't gonna see it anyway because I've already seen Mulan. But
that's fair. Well, this one seems a little it's more of a different live action remake than some of the other ones because there's not gonna be any music in it. Looks like it's gonna be more like a war movie kind of thing.
I don't know. I might see it. Probably not in theaters though. In terms of this situation, I don't know anything about it really, beyond what I've seen and what I've seen on Twitter. And again, things may not be exactly what they seem, and we're not in the heads of people who are tweeting this stuff, so we might not know the full story or the reasons why they do this. And it does sound like a tangible possibility that they could feel pressure from their government to do certain things because of family members that might live there, or the worry that friends that they have in that country still might be harmed in some way or arrested or something as a result of them saying, hey, beating the shit out of protesters is probably not a good thing. And then the police is like, okay, cool, we'll put your family on house arrest and see what happens after that. That does sound like a physical possibility.
Yeah, I mean, she also is an American citizen, which is the interesting part.
So,
but I mean, so she knows what American values are in terms of freedom, I guess, like the Western values, so to speak. But then I guess she still has like ties to China that she wants to maintain or whatever. It's tough. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what she really feels. China's kind of a whole other world that I don't quite understand how it operates. A lot of people in the mainland feel like the Hong Kong protesters are like a nuisance, and they are like buying into this like propaganda that they're just like a bunch of terrorists, which if you've ever seen terrorists holding like protest signs, like that's something for sure. But they just like, I guess they don't value freedom and like democracy as much as like the West does. It's a weird cultural value system shift, I guess. It's kind of, I don't know. If there's anyone who's Chinese or knows more about this that's listening, please write into the show and let us know your perspective, because I'm sure we're speaking from a position of ignorance right now. So I'd love to be schooled on this, but for me, it seems like that's what the situation is, as best as I can understand it. I probably will not see it though, because I haven't been seeing any of the Disney remakes because I don't really care.
Yeah, I didn't see Aladdin either.
Didn't see Aladdin, didn't see The Lion King, and didn't see
yeah, Lion King's fucking stupid. Dude, the idea of doing that is so dumb.
It's very dumb.
Why?
Yep.
It's not even, at that point, if it looks exactly like... They were talking about this on the Weekly Planet, and they were saying, like, all of the charm and, expression that was in the first movie is gone, and there's nothing. There's just nothing. And Mason made this point where he was saying, a lot of the voice acting was really bland or flat, and I was wondering why that was. And then I had a thought that because the animals can't be quite as expressive with their faces because they just don't have the muscle complexity to do so, besides a roar or something, they asked the actors to give it like a 4 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 when they're acting. So that way, when Mufasa might be saying something like, let's go this way, but like, oh, let's go this way, everybody, like, something expressive. The lion will be moving its mouth like a 1/10 of an inch, just like that. And it just won't match up. The levels of excitement and the expression on the lion's face won't match up. So they'll have the actors say something like, let's go this way, everybody. And that makes for a really fucking boring film. I don't know why they would do that. And I mean, if that's the way that you have to do acting in that movie that is so steeped in like music and fun and excitement and like drama, and you're packing all that, and then you're like, actually, we can't have any of that because the CGI is the way that it is. It's like, then don't do the CGI that way. Yep. What is wrong with you?
That's real dumb. I don't understand it. I mean, it looks, from a purely technical standpoint, it looks impressive. Like, congratulations, you got the computers to make animals look really real. But other than that, for the purposes of the story and the acting, it doesn't work at all. But real quick, I guess we'll transition to comments and questions we got. But I was looking through the YouTube comments on the last videos, but there was someone who decided to go back and comment on our old Hawkeye Sucks video and really wanted to make this impassioned defense of Hawkeye.
Okay.
Which we got a lot of Hawkeye stands in that video for some reason. From Stephen Warner. You guys are idiots. He uses a bow and arrow because killing isn't his goal. He was also the only one in Age of Ultron who didn't get messed up by Scarlet Witch. He can use his bow to beat people up when he runs out of arrows. He's really acrobatic also. He changes Tony Stark's view on the Sokovia Accords and finds the gauntlet in Endgame. Also, he killed a guy who had a gun and was gonna shoot him in Endgame.
Okay.
Thank you, Steven. My mind has changed. You got me there.
People are fucking stupid.
I'm just shocked people take this that seriously. But
I do.
Good for them,
I mean, I was yelling just as aggressively. I mean, he wasn't yelling. It's a fucking typed comment.
It's a comment.
in that video, I was very impassioned.
Listen here, fucker. This is from Prude's podcast 97, our Spider-Man Far From Home episode. Technically, Peter is supposed to be 18 because in Civil War he was 15, and Infinity War is about 2 years after it. Endgame doesn't count because he was dusted for him, and it lasted like a minute, so it doesn't count. Then Far From Home is 8 months since Endgame, so 15 plus almost 3 years. This 16-year-old stuff is BS, TBH. So I guess...
Okay. When I was 18, I was not ready to handle a drone program. I don't know about you. When I said 16, I was just highlighting the fact that there's a huge age difference between him and 2 other possible candidates for having these, Rhodey or Pepper. That was it. Him being inexperienced
you don't understand that Peter
wildly
is wildly
exampled throughout those films. Go ahead.
He's 18. He's legally allowed to buy a gun, so I think he's ready to have a drone program.
This 16 stuff is BS.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's see, this one from last week. Someone requoted your fucking Captain America dinner plates vine. Robert commented,
my little brother's 18. I'm not ready to hand him the wheel to the United States drone program in the Middle East.
This is from Robert, who commented, "Welcome to Texas. Have you got your honorary spit jug and cowboy hat already?"
I don't like hats, so no. And there is a lot of people on the street who just spit dip on the floor, but that's pretty average because I'm from Virginia, so that's happened anyway.
I've barely seen anyone spit dip.
Whataburger, Pena, Whataburger is my favorite restaurant in the world. It is really good? So fucking good. The burger is this big. It's big as my fucking giant cue ball head. And they got 2 patties if you get a double. And the fries are good too. So good. And it's open 24 hours. What?
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. What is the what's the price? What's it like? Is the price comparable to like McDonald's?
2 double meat burgers. I think that's $10. $12.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I went to I was out in Charlottesville last weekend because I was hiking, and
I'm so sorry.
I went to Cookout, and Cookout is fucking amazing. I got like 5 chicken nuggets for $1, and then I also got chicken tenders for another $1, and then I got cookies and cream milkshake for like $1.50. But the cookies and cream milkshake was huge and too thick, so you had to eat it with a spoon, which is great. And then I also got curly fries for like another $1. Everything was just stupid cheap. I ended up paying like $4.50 for like a fuck ton of food. It was amazing. I love that place.
Can we circle back?
What do you want to
circle
circle
back?
back
I'm still angry.
You're
about
angry?
Peter Parker. So,
oh my god,
help me with this. I feel like I'm not wrong. Regardless of his. He's 18 and being 16. Are they that a big difference, really? Peter is still a child.
I felt quite a bit different from 16 to 18, but I was still an idiot child.
Thank you.
In the context of entrusting him with like a drone program, definitely 18 is not old enough. I don't even think I'm old enough now, honestly. Maybe wait till I'm like 30 and then get back to me.
There's and this is such a weird thing to pull as a quote, but when the Justice League in Young Justice season 2 or 1, I can't remember, finds out that Captain Marvel is a little boy, Billy Batson. He is sort of brought on the council, and they're talking to him as just like, let's see what we should do about this. Can we have a kid on the council? How does this work? And then he's just like, well, I got the wisdom of Solomon. And then Aquaman says, wisdom does not equal maturity. And in that case, I would put that squarely on Peter's head. Because he's very wise. He's got all of these great influences. Maybe not so much Tony, because Tony's an idiot. But like all of these like pieces of wisdom throughout the years have coalesced in his head. Makes perfect sense. He's also a very clever person. He's not an idiot. He's also 18. And why do you need to give him the glasses? He's already got enough on his plate, to be honest.
Seriously, I think he's still a virgin.
What? What
Peter,
are you
he's-
talking about?
At 18, and like from the movies, we can gather that he doesn't have a lot of experience with girls, so therefore, he's not qualified to handle a drone program.
I hate you so much. Why do you make it weird? I'm just trying to argue with someone on the internet. Way to make it not about me, though. So now the next comment is going to be like,
Patrick, why is Pena being such a freak?
That's all I'm here for.
but anyway.
Wait, this is actually... Yeah, continue. Make your point.
It's you're Tony Stark, all right?
Mm-hmm.
In your will, I assume you've got. I imagine that he was thought about this for years, because that's what he does. Is sort of the Batman problem of like continuously planning for things and blah blah blah, anxiety, which we've seen him have. So either he had these glasses already set up to be for him, or they were in Endgame before he left, after he made that little video message for his daughter and Pepper. He also set aside the glasses. But either way, he had time to think about it. This wasn't just like, he's dying on the floor, all right, I'm going to put it in a box, give it to anybody who I can see. It's, you've got time to think about this. And you're not going to pick your wife, who has been by your side for a decade, if not more, because Pepper was his like assistant before they were even in a relationship, so they've known each other a long time. That's one thing. Or Rhodey, who has been your best friend for probably your entire life.
Fine choice.
Your entire life. Because I imagine if you were to do this, you'd be like, Pepper, I want to give these to you, and maybe she would be like, I mean, I'll put them in storage, but I'm not going to wear them. Or she's just like, I mean, I'll give them to Rhodey. Rhodey seems like a better person to have these, because I got to run a whole fucking company. Or something like that. Anything like that. Does that not make more sense than giving it to some kid? I mean, he's Spider-Man. I get it. But like, what?
No, 100%. Yep. No, you're absolutely right.
Him being
like,
18 is so not even on this plane of reality relevant to this argument at all. Anyway, go ahead.
There you go. I agree with you. That's it.
I said 16 and he's a child like multiple times, because just to hammer forward like this is like some kid.
No, I got you.
And if you look at him and you don't see a kid, you're weird.
This one is by emails from Tawny Monarch. His name is Rob, actually, might be. Hey, Prude dudes. Provided you haven't covered it by now, just wanted to get a take from you guys on the recent DMCA issues and hiring of private investigators. Goons by Borderlands 3 publisher 2K on a Borderlands fan YouTuber who made videos on content that 2K themselves leaked via Twitch's URLs in promotional footage. The two goons came to his house after finding his address and questioned him as to how he got the information he made the stricken video on. Thanks, and as always, keep up the good work. P.S. See attached 2 Italian dogs I met at a villa on my hollybobs. What the fuck is a hollybob?
I don't know.
We weren't told their names, but they were both handsome old fellows. That's so cute. Thank you. These are lovely.
What about a Borderlands?
So in passing, I saw this. It was like this one streamer streamed some like Borderlands 3 leaked stuff that he found through some fuck up 2K did. So it was like pretty easy. It's not like this dude was like elite hacker or anything. And 2K sent these 2 private investigators to his house or something. I don't know what happened there. So people were really mad about that. But then I saw some follow-up article that was like, actually, that didn't happen, or didn't necessarily happen the way people think it did. I really don't know if they sent people to his house to like intimidate him. That's fucked up. That's really terrible, obviously. But I really don't know enough about the situation, so I don't know if you, Pat, have heard about this at all.
I think I saw that on Twitter like twice, but
yeah,
that sounds fucked up as shit. If you have, I don't know, if there's something that you're worried it's illegal that this person did, why not call the police instead of sending some shady individuals to somebody's house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of weird that they would.
We're gonna handle this on our own terms. Is what we're gonna do. Like
Exactly.
Kingpin.
Thank you, Rob. Finally, our last email is from Norman West Allen. I have found my new kink. I now want to be tackled by Charizard and pounded till he empties his Pokeballs all over me. Sent from Star City. And attached is a screenshot of the Pokemon Fire Red game. That's cute. Thank you, Norman. Always appreciate hearing from you, pal. That's it for this week, I think. Unless you want to bring up anything else, Pat.
All of you are wrong about every aspect of Far From Home, and all of you are stupid. Fight me.
Thank you again for listening. Want to shout out to our special Patreon patrons. They're great. I would give each of them a very firm handshake if I could. So shout out to Brianna, Chelsea, David, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jesse, Joshua, Kane, Rebecca, Sydney, Smitty, Werbinger. Hang on. Smitty Werbenjangerman Jensen. He was number one. Tara, that loser Travis, Vanessa, and Jessica. You guys are all incredible.
Thank you so much,
Love
guys.
you. If you want to become a Patreon patron yourself, you can go to patreon.com/prududes. And I will personally see to it that your cheeks are pinched. If you want to follow us on Twitter, that's at Prududes. Same thing on Instagram. You can follow us individually on Twitter. I'm at AlexPenda97. Patrick is at It's Patrick Charlton 5, and Yaman is at Papa Yams 2 S's.
Email us about your opinions on Peter's qualifications to have those glasses.
Thank you again for listening, guys. See you again next week.